So I'm all about having a solid morning routine for your life, but I'm a little bit tired about hearing about the 5 a.m. club and all of these crazy productivity tools that really are just repeating the narrative around work more, work harder, drive, drive, drive. So today I want to offer a different rhythm and ritual to take a look at as entrepreneurs that I think really speaks to this idea of effort and ease and needing both in order to be successful. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristen Constable, and I'm a leadership and business coach to values-driven entrepreneurs who want to create big impact in their life and in their world, and I help them activate their inner leaders so they can do just that. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead, click the little bell and do that so you get notified every single Wednesday when a new video comes out online. All right, so let's dive into this idea around productivity and how we can introduce a different sort of rhythm and ritual into your annual routine so that you can really work with this idea of effort and ease. And one of the things that I have been diving into as of late is this idea of tuning into the natural world, into the seasons, to help really connect to the type of energy and the type of work that really is supported by that season. Now, often we don't really think about our business in that way. So we think about the quarters of the year. So often people work with a 4-quarter kind of calendar, but I don't often see people looking at those 4 quarters and looking at what type of work would be most beneficial to fit into those different segments of the year. So let's just look at this as an example. So if you don't have any kind of quarterly rhythm or ritual in your business as an entrepreneur, I would highly recommend getting one in there. It's an opportunity every few months, every 90 days, to pull out of your business and just to look at things from that 30,000-foot view strategic perspective. Now, often in strategic planning or business planning, it's kind of this full annual process, which can be good for vision work, but for goals work, looking at these 90-day chunks is really effective. We can get a lot done in 90 days, but it's not so far into the future that it doesn't account for the things that just come up, the changes that might come up, the new information that we might have, or just the new way that we might be experiencing our lives, our work in the world. So I'm going to talk about these quarterly rhythms or every 90-day chunks of time. And I'm going to talk about them in the context of seasons today. So let's just talk about the season that we're in right now. So we are in the autumn season. So this kind of runs from October to December. And if we just turn our awareness into the outer world and we look at what's going on in nature, what would you see? Well, you'd see things like leaves falling, things dying, and really this theme of letting go. So what would it look like in your business to really tune into what's going on into the outer world and integrate that or reflect that within your business, using the autumn season as an opportunity to reflect on what might need to be let go of? What is already dead, but you're just continuing to breathe life in it or try to breathe life into it and it's just draining your energy? And what might you want to hold on to? So this idea of like that not all the trees are dying, there's some that stay throughout the entire year, but what ones can you let go of? What projects can you let go of gracefully? What partnerships can you let go of gracefully? What habits for yourself can you let go of gracefully? So that's the autumn season, kind of looking at this idea of letting things die and not holding on to things just because you said you were going to do them or because it was a goal of yours last year. Then we get into what we call kind of deep winter. So this is January until March-ish. And this time of year, if we look into the outer world, into nature, things are very quiet. It's the darkest season of the year. But at this time of the year, there's actually a lot going on under the surface. It's kind of this idea that this is the time of year of conception of ideas, of conception of new ways of being in the world. And if you just think about this idea of January, this is often a time of year where people do their goal planning or set New Year's resolutions. And although you might not be able to see the work quite yet, it's where these things start to take form. They start to be conceived in terms of energy or ideas. So take a look at your business in that 90-day chunk between January, February, and March, and look at how could you use that time of year to really look at ideas and what kind of new things that you could conceive. And my invitation to you is to do this from a place of blank slating it. If you've done the work through the autumn season, there's going to be space because you're going to have to let some things go. So in January, February, March, it's a really cool time of year to create from nothing, to create from those, that empty space that you created. So next we get into springtime. So we've got April, May, and June. Now this time of spring, this is where things start to come alive in nature. So we start to see things budding or springing, the blooms on the flowers starting to come to life. And this is really where we can spend some time in our businesses to cultivate creativity. So looking at where can we look for inspiration? Where can we look for life force and for new ideas and have those influence the things that we're working on? So this is kind of almost like a transformation time in your business if you allow it to be. So January, February, March, you've got these seeds that have been planted, the conception has started, and now in spring you get to kind of create new transformation with new ideas. It's a really fun way to look at that time of year where things are starting to come alive. And then we get into summer. So summer is that kind of high, fiery energy, the longest days, the most sunlight. That's what's going on in our outer world. So how can we reflect that to really be the time of year in our businesses where our energy is on kind of the highest drive, where we're out in the world, we're connecting with people, we're really in the work. At this time of year, seeing kind of the fruits of our labor in deep winter and in spring. Just a different frame. I hope that was helpful. When I started to look at how we could take these two things, what's going on in our outer world, and then a practice that we so often use in business is quarterly planning, and marry them together, I got super excited because we are part of nature and we're influenced by nature. And so often we try to create separateness and we're just on this track of go, go, go. We're living in that high summer time all of the time. But we need to restore, we need to reset, we need to have time for all of those elements. And what would it look like to actually mirror the time of year where that's happening in the outer world so we can feed off of that energy and be part of the natural landscape of our lives and of the world. So a little bit of a different spin this week, but I hope that's helpful. And if you want to get going on some of your 90-day planning for January, I've got a really great resource for you. It's a one-page business plan. It's not going to be this super thick strategic plan that takes you weeks to do and then you shelve for the rest of the year. It's a really effective way to have everything that you need to be focused on and aligned with on one page that you can put somewhere and reference every single day and then come back to every 90 days. So I'm going to include that in the link below. Go ahead and download that if you think it would be helpful. And then also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next week for next week's video. Thanks so much.